$1.9 trillion in spending is reckless, irresponsible, and the wrong thing to do. We are at $28 trillion in debt. This Congress is ramming through unbelievable things at a rapid pace. This is a waste of money and a complete waste of time. Reopening America is a much better way to go. Mr. Speaker, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
The question is on the motion. Those in favor say aye. Those in favor say no. No. The noes have it.
That was Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene on the floor of the United States House of Representatives trying to convince members of Congress to hold off on passing Joe Biden's pork-filled China virus relief bill yesterday. The wasteful and dangerous bill has just been signed by Joe Biden. Joining me now to weigh in on this is Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. It is great to finally meet you, lady. Thank you for being here. Congresswoman, you've been trying to stand in the way of this bill, but the Surrender Caucus in the Republican Party doesn't share your view. 40 members of the GOP's Surrender Caucus voted with socialists to speed this dangerous bill along. They were led by that shrub, Adam Kinzinger, who said, quote, "I'm just tired of it. We're doing this every day, and there's no point, so I'm just done playing." Seems to me this sect of the GOP is tired of defending their constituents. Am I wrong?
Apparently so. You know who's done playing? That's the American people. The American people are disgusted and fed up with business as usual in Washington. And around here, it's unfortunate that some of my Republican colleagues have the attitude of let's just kick back, put our feet up on the desk and allow the Senate to defend all of the woke, progressive, disgusting bills that come out of the House of Representatives. And I have nothing to do with that. I think Republicans in Congress, we should be fighting back on every single front and doing everything we can to push the message as hard as possible straight into Nancy Pelosi's face that everything that she's trying to do to the American people is repulsive, it's embarrassing, and she should be fired. And this is what our voters want us to do. This is what our donors want us to do. And this is what America needs desperately for us to do. Because if we're leading the fight here in the House of Representatives, we're pushing that message hard to the media. We are firing up Republicans all over the country to call into our senators and help them fight back and put big pressure on moderate Democrats in the Senate. And this should be a team effort. But, unfortunately, not all Republicans are interested in America's team, and that's for the people.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. And as a matter of fact, since now you're on the inside and you can give us a perspective, if we're going to give a percentage of the number of Republicans who want to fight against harmful leftist politics and policies, and then giving another percentage of who the Surrender Caucus is. I mean, can you give us a rough, who's pro-American, who's pro-socialist on the Republican side? Give me a percentage.
I would say that I would say many Republicans here in Congress are pro-America. But it's unfortunate that a good percentage of them have been here so long, they don't really connect. It's for them, there's a process and there's a way of doing business here in the swamp, and that's all they know, that's all they're connected in, and that's the trench that they stay in. And for me, I see it completely another way. This is a process that has failed the American people. We're now in $30 trillion in debt with the stroke of Joe Biden's pen this afternoon, and our country is basically on fire, and Republicans in Congress are sitting there in the fire going, oh, everything's fine. But the American people don't feel that way. And Republicans in Congress, we should be using every single tool we have. We should be working outside the box. We should be bending and pressing and moving in any pace we can, and we should be doing it in a unified manner. But that's not happening. I called for a motion to adjourn, and unfortunately 40 members decided to vote against me. Some of them came to me and said they were upset that I spoke against them, but their excuse to me was, well, I was in a committee meeting and I didn't want to adjourn at that time. And that's unfortunate.
Wow. You know, you mentioned it, that there are some Republicans who say this is the way we've always done things, and that we're going to continue to do things the same old way, except for when the Democrats decide they want to change the rules, and then those same Republicans say, oh, that's fine with us. You guys get to change the rules all you want, but we're just going to continue to do it the same old way. That's why we call them the Surrender Caucus. You know, the House ended up passing a couple other bills, H.R. 8, H.R. 1446, that would impose draconian restrictions on law-abiding gun owners in this country. You and Congresswoman Lauren Boebert are huge Second Amendment proponents, and firearms are the great equalizer when women are attacked by physically stronger men. Why do you think liberals are so determined to leave women vulnerable?
Well, they use the term common sense gun laws, but really there is no common sense in gun laws, because gun laws, the only gun law that matters, that makes any sense, is our Second Amendment, which states shall not be infringed. H.R. 8, what it does is it brings in background checks, and everyone knows if you have to sign your name up on a background check, that's nothing but creating a great big list of American gun owners, and every single person in this country, every gun owner knows that a registration of gun owners, a big list, leads later to gun confiscation. So this is extremely dangerous. H.R. 1446 creates a waiting period. Well, if you're a person that's ever bought a gun before, you usually had a good reason for buying one and you needed one right then and there. But putting someone on a waiting list is actually endangering their lives. What Democrats don't want to tell their voters is that these gun laws actually endanger the lives of minorities more than it does anyone else, minorities and women. And this is something that I find appalling when they use race, they use identity politics in all of their political lies and schemes to get their voters. The people they hurt most are the ones that their policies that get passed are their voters. And so, you know, The gun is the great equalizer. It's the one thing that puts people on equal footing, and women especially need to have our gun rights.
Amen to that. You know, you remind me of a story out of Chicago. An elderly man had to sue for his right to have a firearm because the liberal city there was abandoning him to all those ruthless gangs, and he wanted to defend himself. And of course, Democrat socialists don't want the American people to be able to defend themselves. Congresswoman, I really appreciate the time here on the Chris Salcedo Show. I hope to talk again very soon.
Hi, Emma Reckenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on Newsmax TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, Newsmax TV.